A very good morning to all my BCA final year students. We'll continue with your subject of COAS, that is Computer Oriented Accounting System. Now in the previous video or the previous class we discussed about the transactions. What are the different types of transactions that affect an accounting equation? We already learned that transaction affecting one event, that is transaction affecting only assets, transactions affecting only liability and transactions affecting only capital. Today we will learn the secondary part or the second part of the transactions, transaction affecting any two elements of accounting equation. What are the any two elements of accounting equation? That is either asset and liability, either liability and capital, or either asset and capital. So these three are the basic categories that transactions affecting any two elements. So we will learn the first one, asset and liability. In case of asset and liability, we come to know that transaction can either affect the increase of both asset and liability or decrease of both asset and liability. Transaction will affect either increase of asset and liability or decrease of asset and liability. So these are the two transactions which will have an effect over the first part of your transaction affecting two elements. That is, transaction will either increase both asset and liability or transaction will either decrease both asset and liability. This is the main, part is the main sentence to remember. The increase in asset will not decrease the liability or decrease in liability will not increase the asset. It has the same effect, same portion effect. Increase in liability, increase in asset are on the same line, decrease in liability and decrease in the asset are on the same line or the same page. So this is the normal normal point, or you can say the normal scenario you have to remember for the transaction affecting any two elements of accounting equation, that is of asset and liability. Let us see what are the examples. Transaction affecting asset and liability. The first one is goods purchased on credit. What do we understand by this statement? Goods purchased on credit means the business has purchased goods on credit. It is also a liability and asset. Why? Goods are the part of assets and credit means we owe to someone. So it is the part of the liability. The money which we owe to others is we owe to the outside parties of the business is the creditor. The person to whom we owe from the business is the creditor of the business. So credit means we owe some money to the outside. If we owe, that is an outsider's equity. So this part on credit is the liability part and goods are of asset. So this transaction will affect the either side or the both sides of a transaction, that is the asset side and the liability side. Second one is assets purchased on credit. Again, the same thing is happening in these transactions. Assets are the part of the asset side and credit is the part of the liability side. So it will affect both the transactions in an equation, because the money which we borrow from the outside parties or the money which we owe to outside parties, we have to give them the money to outside parties are outsiders equity. And outsiders equity means the person to whom we owe, the business owes, is the creditor of the person, and the amount which we owe is the credit, or we can say the amount which we owe is the outsiders equity. So that becomes naturally the liability part of the transaction, and this becomes the asset part of the transaction. So this transaction will affect both the asset and liability of a accounting equation. Income received in advance. Now, income received in income is no doubt are part of asset, but in advance means we are having the money for the future generation of time, which is a liability to our business. We are having or owing money for the future course of time, means the expenses or for the future duration of time. So that will come under the liability side of the transaction. The income will come on the asset side of the transaction, but in advance will come on the liability part of the transaction. Cash borrowed. Now what is cash borrowed? Cash is a part of asset, and borrowed means we are owing to someone to pay in the future course of time, or the business is owing to pay in the future course of time. So that comes under the liability part, and cash, no doubt it is an asset, so it comes under the asset part. The fifth one is tax collected. Now, tax collected, it is very complicated to understand the tax and the tax generation and valuation, but tax collected, here it comes under the tax is one kind of collection of cash. Tax is one kind of asset to the business, whereas tax belongs to the liability part of the business. So it has the both effect of the asset and liability in an accounting equation. Advance received from customers for supply of goods. Now, advance, again we said here also it is advance, so advance will come under the liability side of the transaction, whereas goods come under from the customers to supply the goods. Goods come under the asset side. So if there is an advance payment for the goods or the supply of goods, it will be a liability for us. But the goods are involved, so it will come under the asset part of the transaction. The next one is check paid to creditor dishonored. Now payment of check is also a part of asset, but the creditor and dishonored is a part of liability. If dishonored means the payment which you have made, we have a payment failure of the payment, either from the bank side or either from the to the person to whom you are paying. Either the person to whom you are paying have disowned your check, or the bank have dishonored your checks. So that is the part transaction affecting both asset and liability of an accounting equation. To the eighth one, that is cash paid to suppliers. Suppliers cash paid. Cash paid is again a part of the asset, and suppliers we part come to the part of the liability. It is paid. Paid means we are paying some amount, so it comes under liability. And to the suppliers. Suppliers are the persons who supply goods and commodities to our business for the sale of goods and services or commodities. So cash paid means cash comes under asset and paid part comes under the return to the suppliers. Goods come under the asset part, return to the suppliers comes under the liability part, and outstanding expenses means the expenses which are not been paid or which are in due. So outstanding expenses paid, but it will have to paid in the form of cash, so it will come under the asset side, and outstanding expenses come under the part of the liability side. Let us come to the 11th one. 11th one is borrowed money paid. 12th one is sent goods to customer from advance received. 13th one is paid, collected taxes to government. So we already studied this transaction. We have borrowed money paid, means borrowed money in the previous transaction, and we are paying borrowed money. It will affect the both and asset and liability side. Sends goods to customer from the advance receipt. We took advance from the customers for the supply of the goods, and we are sending the goods to the customers. Paid, collected tax at the government. We collected tax and we are paying the tax to the government. So these are the 13 transactions which will affect both the asset and the liability side of an transaction. The next segment of this transactions. So here in the second part we have transactions affecting capital and asset. So here we follow the same procedure, that increase in asset, increase in capital, decrease in asset, decrease in capital. We have the same condition in this transaction also. If there is an increase in asset, there is an increase in capital. If there is an increase in decrease in asset, there will be a decrease in capital. Let us know the first example, that is money introduced by proprietor into business. Now money introduced by proprietor into the business means money in form of cash or kind will come under the asset part, and introduction of capital, the introduction of money, that is only the meaning of capital. The money brought by the proprietor into the business for the commencement or the starting of the business is the capital. So this transaction will affect both the asset and the capital part of a accounting equation. Second one is money withdrawn as drawings. Now money withdrawn as drawings, what does it indicate? Means the money means in kind of cash or kind withdrawn for drawings. Drawings, what are drawings? Drawings are the proprietor's personal use. The withdrawn money for the proprietor's personal use. it is not related to the business, it is not related to business transaction, but the money withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use is termed as drawings. So this transaction will also affect the asset and the capital part of a transaction in an accounting equation. Depreciation on fixed assets. Now what do we understand by the word depreciation? Depreciation is nothing but decrease in the monetary value of a fixed asset. Decrease in the monetary value of a fixed asset because of passage of time, because of the usage, and because of the new technology involvement or new technology involvement. So that is the depreciation. Means suppose I purchased my asset, fixed asset on 10,000 rupees. So after 1 year there will be a percentage of depreciation. Suppose 5% depreciation. So 5 by 100 into 10,000 rupees. ₹500. So 500 rupees, if we withdraw 500 rupees, if we withdraw from the 10,000, 10,000 minus 500, 9,500. So this 9,500 is my depreciated value of a fixed asset after 1 year. After 1 year, this is my depreciated value. My value was this, and my value after 1 down comes to 9,500. That is the depreciation. And why this depreciation happens? Because of the usage of the machinery, because of the time, because of the usage, because of wear and tear, and because of new technology involvement. So that is the part of depreciation. Fourth one, cash stolen. Fifth one is income due but not received. Now, cash stolen, what do we understand? Cash from the business is stolen, so it will affect the capital part and the asset part. Next is the income due but not received. Income is there in our business. Income is made, but we have not received the cash for the income or the money for the income. That will affect, this transaction will affect both the capital and the asset part of the business, because cash is income is made, then means it will affect the capital part, and the income in the sense of monetary value or the monetary term will affect the asset part. Loss of goods by fire. Any income received, any expenses paid. Now, loss of goods by fire, again it will come under the capital and the goods are involved, so it will affect the asset part. Any income received, income receiving will increase the capital of the business indirectly or directly, and income received means cash coming, that is will affect the asset part. And any expenses paid, cash is going on and expenses is paid, means it will affect the capital and the asset part. Is cash withdrawn for personal use. Now, cash withdrawn for personal use, it can be for charity, it can be for vehicle fuel, etc. So, cash withdrawn for personal use comes under drawing, and it will affect both the capital and the asset part of the business. The next one is, the 10th one is bank charges. So bank charges will also affect the part of the both the transactions, that is the capital and the asset. So it will affect both the capital and the asset part. That is the 11th one. Sale of fixed assets at profit. 12th one is sale of fixed assets at loss. Sale of goods at profit. Sale of goods at loss. Now what do we understand by these four statements? If we sell the fixed assets means it will affect the asset part, and at profit, either loss, it will affect the capital part of the business. So goods and fixed assets, if they are sold for profit or sold for loss, it will directly or indirectly affect the asset part of the business, and it will affect the capital part of the business. How? Means the sale of fixed assets means asset is going from the business. If we get a profit, it will increase the capital of the business. If we get a loss, it will decrease the capital of the business. So if we sell it, the asset is gone. If it is a profit made, then also the increase of both asset and liability, and decrease of both the asset and capital. Sorry, not liability, asset and capital, and increase of both asset and capital and decrease of both asset and capital. Sale of fixed asset at loss, it will decrease the capital, it will decrease the asset part. Sale of goods at profit will increase the asset part and also increase the capital part. And sale of goods at a loss will decrease the capital and decrease the assets. So these are the 14 transactions will affect the asset and the capital part. And we remember that increase in asset will increase the capital and decrease in asset will decrease the capital. This is the basic concept of this transaction, this part of transaction. We are studying the transaction affecting two elements. In the previous starting of the video, we studied the 13 transactions affecting the part of asset and liability, and these are the 14 transactions affecting the part of asset and capital. Next we are going to study the transaction affecting the part of liability and capital. So here there is a different tenure or different concept, that increase in liability will decrease the capital and decrease in liability will increase the capital. So this is the basic concept of this transaction effect, that is affecting two elements. Then obviously if the liability is increased means we are owing someone, then capital will obviously decrease, and if the capital liability is decreased, the capital will increase. It is the inverse proportion or inversely proportion of this transactions. So we have only two transactions which will affect this. First one is outstanding expenses. Second one is liability paid from proprietor personal bank account. These are the two transactions affecting the part of the capital and liability. Outstanding expenses means outstanding which we have to pay. It will decrease the capital. If there is outstanding expenses, it will increase the liability and decrease the capital. If the outstanding expenses are not paid, then it will increase the liability and decrease the capital. If it is paid, it will decrease the liability and increase the capital. Second, liability paid from the proprietor's personal bank account. Means from the personal bank account he is not gaining that much and he is not having that much profit in the business, so he paid the outsider's equity with the personal account, means with the own personal account not related to the business. It will affect both the capital, means the drawings part of the business, personal account means drawings part of the business, and also the liability part of the business. So these are the both transactions which affect the capital and the liability part. Coming down to the last segment of this transaction part, that is affecting capital, liability and asset. Here we have a concept that increase in asset, increase in liability and increase in capital. Second one is decrease in asset, decrease in liability and decrease in capital. This is the basic concept of this. And for this first example is having assets and liability, bills payable under rebate. So these two are the examples of above two transactions. If we purchase a running business, having assets and liability, it will affect the three parts, that is the increase in asset, liability and the capital. Bills payable at rebate. Rebate means at a discounted rate, it will affect the both asset, liability and capital. It will decrease the both asset, liability and capital. That is bills payable, means which we are paying on a rebate price. Under rebate means there is a negotiation between the buyer of the goods and the seller of the goods. And this part, purchase of a running business, we purchase another business which is having assets and liabilities and which will affect the capital of our business also. So these are the two transactions affecting all the three elements of an accounting equation, that is asset, capital and liability. So this is the part we come to an end of the transactions, various transactions which affect the accounting equation. Now in the next class we will start with the problematic part, that is how to solve the problems of accounting equation. What are the questions which will be given in your question paper and what are the types of question will be given in your question paper and how do we solve it with the help of these transactions, Thank you one and all. That's all for today.